So you said you pretty much what you would like me to look at is target priority. I'm assuming your shoe because Doom and Genji here.
Yep, yep.
Yep. Okay. Target priority. You said positioning in terms of deaths. So you said you feel like
Yeah.
you're dying more than you really needed to. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was in comms chats with the Doom and the Freya. We were as three stack
We're
as well.
stacking. Okay. That is fine. I can definitely look at that. I'll probably, in terms of like your target priority and everything, I'm gonna look maybe at the timings of certain things, of like when you're deciding to swap between targets, maybe how you're following up on your Doom, especially if you're talking about positioning as well. But let's have them choose their comp here. So I guess if we want to talk about target priority here, looking at their team composition, of we've got BAP, we got Mercy, Soldier, Echo, and Sig here. What do you feel like your main targets would probably be?
I would say most likely the BAP, mainly to like bait him out of his cooldowns to make him an easier target if he's like a little isolated from his team. Mercy
Mm-hmm.
is a little tricky if I can pull off the one shot combo. So I would say like in order, first would be BAP, second would be Mercy, third would I would say Echo for sure when she doesn't have her flight.
Okay, so you
And
say
then can you from off angle?
BAP, Mercy, Echo,
And then Soldier will be say fourth for sure.
then Soldier, and then obviously Sig fifth. Okay. I will say I definitely agree. BAP should be maybe the one you should look at, but I'm gonna be honest. I think it's actually a tie between the BAP and the Soldier here.
Valid. I see that. I see why.
It's
Yeah, they both have
because
survivability.
it's not even that. It's more the fact that because they are running uh, Mercy Echo, most likely these two people are going to be flying around in the air a lot more. As you know, Genji is not necessarily equipped to take down a flying moth meta of
Yeah.
Mercy and Echo here. So realistically, the reason I'm not saying okay, you 100% want to go for the BAP is because if the BAP is playing super far back, as a BAP would normally kind of do, is play probably behind the Soldier and the Sig and everything, it can be a little difficult to get to him at times as well. So the reason I'm also saying Soldier would be tied is because you kind of want to see the Soldier's going to play a little bit more aggressive than the BAP would because he's the DPS. Obviously, that's what he's wanting to do. I would probably say if you can catch the Soldier in a good opportunity, then yes, you want to hit Soldier and try and take him out. Obviously, if you stacked on BAP, that's just a good double dive that you can do. Maybe take a bit of some cooldowns away, take attention away, and then so yeah, I would then say depending on how it's played out, it's not necessarily a bad idea to kind of focus the Sig for a short bit of time and maybe like a downtime we were just doing some poke or something like that. I don't think it's a bad idea to shoot Sig. Um, and then for the Mercy Echo, I realistically don't think you're going to really focus the Echo much unless Mercy's dead. Otherwise, you're going to want to probably go for the Mercy first when she's maybe if she drops back to heal the BAP or maybe goes back to heal the Soldier, maybe you can try and catch her there or something. But if she's with the Echo, you're going to have to play a little bit tricky with your positioning to make it so you're not just running straight into like a Mercy Echo that will just explode you and kill you before you can even think about it is how I'm seeing it. Let me also turn this. So let's see how we play this out here. So Blizzard World, not a bad map for Genji. The first point can be a little tricky, but I think once it gets past that, it kind of opens up a little more. Okay, Echo's just dead off the start. That's nice. Um, that's fine so far. Yep, this is good. Good. Yeah, you played that well. Okay, yeah, probably disengage here. Pretty much all that looked really fine because you guys got that opening pick right away. So well done. I would say maybe small thing that I noticed, it's not really a big deal, is you kind of just use dash. I get it, you want to kind of close the distance on the Mercy, maybe block res or something like that. I don't know what the. Do you know what the thought process behind that one dash was?
It was basically that. Yeah, you got it right.
Okay. Which is fine. I would say maybe the only reason I'm worried about this is because you didn't get punished for it here, but I could definitely see maybe if Mercy can get back to Soldier and Soldier kind of turns on you, you're kind of a little bit in. Because let's say we pause right here on the dash, and if we look at it from a free cam perspective now, we can kind of see we're a little bit starting to do a bit of a cheat here in a way. Because let's say I know Bap and Sig are probably out of the equation here because they're getting shot at by Doom and everything is fine, but you're pretty far up from everybody else. And so yeah, if like the Soldier and Mercy turn, they could possibly punish you for it. It's just something to note that it didn't happen here, but it's always a possibility. And I'd like to point out habits that I see that may not have punished somebody, but can be punished in different situations or scenarios. So but at the very least, the thought process behind the dash was fine, denying res. I think it was also at this time you probably could have done it without the use of dash, so you still had that safety net, but pretty good. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Because this one is just, we just play this, and if we just watch it from an aerial view, I get it, you're wanting to do a little bit of a poke here, but I'm gonna be honest, what I would much rather see you do here, instead of like trying to do a poke or something like that, because realistically, your kill potential here is 0. Because if we look at where they're positioned back here, we'll go a little bit zoomed out here. So we see, you know, Bap's on the high ground, Echo, Mercy, Soldiers coming back from spawn. Like you realistically, you're not going to kill anybody here unless you have the confidence of, you know, fucking Alvocates and the mechanics to back it up, where you can maybe do a dash one shot on Echo and be God. But you know, obviously that's not the smart thing to do. I would rather see you do staging or setting up for something, because right here you have a lot of valuable time and map control, because right now they don't have any of this. All of this is all free for the taking. This entire high ground here, I want to see you take this, especially if you're Doom, if you're able to, because Freya can hold and do this poking so much better than you can, because she has the range, she has the damage and everything, and the survivability to play, you know, back here and do the poke damage. You and Doom come up here. I want you and Doom coming up here and setting up, because you can either do one of two things. You can either just contest this high ground so that they can't take it and get that advantage, or maybe if Bap overstays his welcome, like if he doesn't see that you're coming here and he just stays in this position, you might be able to do a dive on the Bap. Or maybe what's probably going to happen is the Soldier's going to try and rotate up through stairs here. If you guys both push this high ground, you can probably catch him off guard and probably jump him and get another free pick, and then pretty much you could steamroll the entirety of second point here based off of this. But instead what we kind of do is we decide to play frontline into 5 people looking at us. I mean, we got, you know, 1, 2, 3. Mercy's damage boosting, so we'll count that as 4. And then if Soldier was back in a position, he'd be looking at you as well. And in this case, there's no value in getting 5 people to look at you either, because your team's not doing anything. If Doom was maybe coming over, was already up on the high ground here, let me clear it out a little bit. If Doom was maybe already on the high ground here and was going for a dive in, then maybe doing this to take away attention and maybe make it so the Echo doesn't look back at him, maybe Sig doesn't rock, would maybe be the only case scenario in which I would say this would be somewhat okay. But I just don't think in really any regard. There's no reward. There's no reward for the amount of risk you're taking here. And then you just get majorly punished for it. And don't get me wrong, I am all for doing like risky plays. Genji is a very risky character you have to take at times, but the rewards have to be valuable enough to warrant the risk. Because risk is what wins games, and it's also what can lose games if you don't manage them properly for the reward that you get.
High risk, high reward.
Yes.
For sure.
So So let's see how you come back here. I think it's okay to shoot Sig here because if we look at it here, we know that Doom is fighting over here. He's fighting the back line. You can maybe go to help him there, but it's also Doom at the same time. If he's good, he can 1v4 and live for the rest of his life. What I'm thinking is, because Doom's in here, this Sig has nobody looking at him, and he's pushing really, really hard on both your supports here. So fighting Sig here and helping your backline is honestly an okay thing here. I would say maybe in the way that you went about it, maybe mechanically, I mean, maybe a little bit of a rush shot there. We're kind of rushing shots here, and then this dash was just very unnecessary. I would say. So far, I would say also in terms of like cooldown wise, maybe we're being a little bit too hasty with dashes. Because like we see Sig's on full HP. If maybe Sig's HP was like maybe down to like to here, I could maybe see warranting it, because you can right click dash, then right click again, or something to do that huge burst of damage to finish off the kill. But we just kind of use it, and we're still walking here. Ooh. That was very dangerous. And I think you kind of see why. Like, we expend dash. We expend deflect. And now we're in front of all 5 of them, no cooldowns, and we're also frontlining in front of the Doom. The Doom does come up to help you. But higher rank, like low-key, not even like in Masters, you probably just explode. 250 HP will go in a blink of an eye in this case scenario here. They will definitely punish that. So in terms of positioning, I feel like you like to frontline it a little bit, and in some situations it's okay, but I feel like with Genji, especially when you have your Doom, try and set up with your Doom. Let your Freya, your Wu Yang, and your Ana kind of play like a little core area, and you and Doom are like a frontline hit squad in a way. You don't have to play frontline if you're in the backline killing 4, because then there technically just is no frontline to it. And realistically, with your backline to what their attack is, like if you and Doom go in, most likely Echo and Mercy are probably going to turn around on you, and then obviously you have the BAP and the Soldier. So like the really only pressure they would have would be the Sig. And if Freya, Wu Yang, and Ana can't deal with a single Sig, then that's just nothing. That's not your issue. But don't feel like that deflect was necessary. We were kind of already out and didn't need it. And the reason I'm saying that is because now we have to wait for it to come back before we can start being a little bit more active. So I kind of see, I'm tying this into the positioning, because I kind of see like the positioning can be okay if we have cooldowns, but we're putting ourselves in bad positions with no cooldowns. So I'm going to kind of call when we're using cooldowns when we don't need to, so we can put ourselves in those more risky positions, but they're not as risky because we have the cooldowns to survive and, adapt through how we need to play with them.
Yeah, no worries. Feel free to call them out for sure.
I'll keep playing on this high. Yep, this is fine. Nope, don't drop down. Don't drop down. Dude, I wouldn't drop down here. You had a nice little off angle on a little high ground piece. You were really safe there. Now we're opening ourselves up a little bit more. Because really, let's look at it here. In this position here, who can see us? Okay, we have Sig who can see us if he looks up. BAP can look at us. Mercy can look at us. And where is Soldier? Let's see. Soldier dead. Oh no, Soldier is coming out high ground here, so he can't see you yet. But you have 3 people looking at you in this spot here, which is also, by the way, wide open. You have no cover here. Versus, all you're doing is shooting the Sig here. You can get the exact same value that you're getting from a way less riskier spot. Instead of having 3 people look at you, you can literally just keep playing here and you can still shoot the Sig from literally the same distance, and now you have hard cover here. You're on a little bit more of a high ground position, and you don't have this Bat Mercy looking at us. And at the same time, it also gives us the opportunity or the option, if we want to, maybe we know Sig is fine here, or maybe Sig can get a bunch of sustain because he has 2 supports. So what we can do is we can literally just climb up over this, take this little angle here. So this is where we will want to do some staging, because right now we're just kind of neglecting staging is all it is here that I'm seeing so far. Is we're not looking for angles to take. We're not looking for ways to get in close to the back line. We're just kind of playing front line here, and we're not setting ourselves up so if Doom goes in, we can follow up with Doom with what he does. So like shooting him is fine. And then if we want to, we can also take this option. This would be a bit of a higher risk, but also a high reward situation. Because with Bat Mercy, the Sig most likely, unless he gets hit with a fat anti and he whiffs or doesn't have lamp, he's probably going to live through this. But if we come over the top here and take Bap's attention away from the Sigma by we don't even have to full engage him. We just start doing poke damage from like right here on him. Now he's no longer looking at Sig. Sig has no help and he'll probably die. Or at the very least, force out so many cooldowns and stuff and force so much space back. But instead, we just don't put that pressure here, and we just kind of look at the Sig. So this might be a choice of, yes, Sig is okay. Here's maybe a better option we can look for by also playing this position too. Because now we don't really have too much of an option. Because yes, we could maybe turn our attention to BAP and do a dash in, but that's like a major cheat in a way. And I'll look for a better example to really explain what I mean by cheating. But in this case, it's just we're just gonna dash straight through like their line, so to say, to try and get to the back. And this BAP is already looking at your direction. There's no element of surprise if you just dash on them. Is what I'm trying to say in that case.
Yeah.
So we do kind of do that here, which is, again, it's okay. I do feel that once Lamp came out, we got a little sidetrack. Because, like, this is fine. And especially when Doom goes in here, that's good. But, like, he pops Lamp, we punch out a Lamp, and now it's like, I get it, we want to break Lamp right away, but the BAP's not in Lamp. No one's in Lamp. BAP's over here. We literally, this is a perfect example of target priority in terms of timing. Yes, if BAP was in Lamp here and was against this wall here, he has no way of dying because Lamp, perfect, break the Lamp. He's gone. He's out of his safety. He's out of his no-no square. You kill him. You just turn and kill this guy. But instead, we don't look at him. He gets to live, and then on top of that, we kind of forced dash out because we stayed here. We got pressured by Soldier, but had we maybe gone on the BAP, which, bro, disappeared? What the fuck? Oh, he jumped up. Had we had gone on BAP and gone here, Soldier no longer sees us as well. It's a side thing. But I just don't think shooting at the Lamp. Wait, did we not even break Lamp? Oh my god, we didn't even break Lamp. Okay. So yeah,
I dashed out of panic. I saw.
We dashed out of panic because again, we just. It's okay to be again aggressive like that with Doom, but at the same time, we just kind of were in the open, and yeah, it caused you to panic because obviously we were at this position here, which is just, I would say, is just not good. Again, we avoid going into more situations where you're just kind of in the middle of everything by doing proper staging instead of just like kind of walking up through the choke point here. Because like again, we have so much of the map available here, and we're just using this lane so far. This entire fight has just been this lane. That's a fine use of deflects. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Um, okay. So few problems with this that we can work on is so far this is good. We're following Doom. Again, little bit of a rush on the dash here. Maybe what I'm saying is be a little bit more patient with your dashes is something I would maybe recommend. By what I'm seeing is a lot of them are just either you put yourself in a bad position and you panic, or we just kind of like brain fires must click dash button and we just kind of dash. So if we maybe wait like half a second, especially because we know Doom goes in, Bap's probably going to jump from it and try and create space. Maybe wait for the jump and then we can dash on him in the air when he's very vulnerable because he can't do a bunch of movement in the air unless he has the perk. But it's early enough in the game that we know he won't, and we'll be able to do a bunch of damage. But we dash in here, and it's okay to still be aggressive here. But the second we force deflect out, especially in this case scenario, because if we look at this here, what do we see on our screen?
Bap about to jump up, and Soldier already seeing me right in front of the Bap, ready
Yep.
to initiate.
So this deflect, the timing of this deflect is good. I'm okay with this deflect, because we know Soldier's about to shoot us. You know, we're in here. The issue comes from what you do right here, and I want you to see if you notice why this deflect goes very wrong. I'll back it up another 10 seconds. We can watch it again.
Too soon.
Say that again.
I deflected too soon, I would say.
No, I wouldn't say it was too soon. I mean, yeah, you maybe could have waited a little bit longer on it, but I realistically think it was fine because you had Soldier looking at you. Soldier was about to beam you. Yeah, Bap was in the middle of a reload, but you wouldn't have known that at the time. So that's like a super niche hindsight. We're in a replay code on a pause screen. We would notice that. You wouldn't really notice that in a game. So I think the thought process behind deflect, because yeah, maybe Bap, if Bap wasn't reloading, he'd be shooting you on top of with a mercy damage boost on top of Soldier shooting you as well. So in that case, you technically have 3 people looking at you, and they're about to shoot you. So yeah, it's okay to deflect. The issue of it, I'll give you another chance. If you want to watch through it again, what do you think the issue was with it?
Um, Maybe I was. I'm not sure. I was gonna say like I'm deflecting it the wrong towards the wrong person, but you said that the deflect was fine, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not low key exactly sure.
Okay, we can. I'll watch it. Let's watch it one more time from external camera POV, and maybe see if that will help as well. The issue is not with the deflect itself. That will be the hint I get. It is not with the deflect itself. That POV make it a little bit easier to maybe see what it might have been. What do you think
A little.
okay? What is your guess of what you think the issue was?
It was still like the exact same answer I had before, but I wasn't sure like if I was angling it right maybe or
No, again, the issue had nothing to do with the actual use of deflect. It was something outside of that, and the I'll just give you the answer for that here. It was your positioning during the deflect, and what I mean by that is if we watch it back again, we go back just a few seconds here. We pop deflect again. We're pop deflect right here in the open. Fine. It's okay, but at the same time, now we have no cooldowns, and we're going to continue to just walk in the open at the BAP in a straight line. Now we have no cooldowns because we popped the flag. I think you tried going for a little bit of a clip here on the BAP, trying to get the right click headshot. But I will be honest, with the Mercy, I just don't think it would be possible with it. Just because he's already almost full HP, you would need the dash to even do a 250 HP with that. And on top of Mercy, it would just probably be bad. The issue is that, yeah, we pop deflect, but we don't disengage with the deflect in this case scenario. We stay in full throttle when we have nothing. Again, in the open, if we want to talk about positioning, we're again in the opening, full throttling with no cooldowns. So then what happens is Soldier looks at you, Bap starts to look at you, and now, oh my god, you're in the open here, you're getting beamed by 3 people, and you have nowhere to go to, and you're dead. Had we have popped deflect, and then we be seeing that we pop it, okay, Soldier isn't shooting us, Bap isn't shooting us, no one's shooting us yet, okay, let's go back into this little corner here. You know, let's disengage from it because we have no cooldowns. We have to be slow. We can't stay full throttle unless Doom or like we're doing a dive or something and it's in a different case scenario. But in this case, we're not. We're still in like the middle of a really scruffy and messy fight. We have to play our life. Just because they're, again, balancing the risk and reward here. If Bap was like half HP or something like that where he's in that one shot, definitely could kill range, by all means, go for it. That's a good risk reward scenario because you get the kill on the Bap. Now you have your dash, so now we have another cooldown to get out of this position if we need to, and we can play more aggressive with it anyway because then we got to pick, okay, maybe we can go on the Soldier Mercy or something like that. But because Bap was just realistically not in a killable state, it just is not worth such a massive risk for a low reward in that case scenario. And we would have liked to see it here. So I feel like so far one of the biggest things I'm seeing is merely just not properly doing Genji's gameplay loop. It should be like a Genji's gameplay loop should be setting up, angle it, taking it off angle, trying to get into a advantage, position, maybe on a high ground above somebody just from an off angle, and then find the right timing to engage, whether it's a good CD is used. So maybe Bap uses lamp. That's like a trigger, we'll call it. Like a trigger or a cue to be able to say, okay, I can go on Bap because he doesn't have this really good cooldown that can deny a kill or deny this, and we might be able to get a pick off that. And so then we can use, our setup that we have to get in on Bap and fight him, and then maybe Mercy comes in, heals him, he gets help. Okay, we can't get the kill, but we forced a bunch of stuff out, which is, again, valuable in its own sense because we take attention and we take cooldowns away. Okay, I can pop deflect, get back to a safe location, and let my cooldowns reset so I can do it again. And we immediately go back into like a staging phase. So it's like set up, dive, do what you can, don't overdo it, do what you can, get out. And kind of do that while living if you possibly can. But I feel like what I'm seeing so far right now is we're kind of poking in the front, just kind of sitting around, then we go for like just a really not great setup hit, and then we just don't know when to back out of it, and we just kind of keep going full throttle on it so far is what I'm seeing. And about at the halfway point here, do you have any questions, things you want me to go over a little bit more in depth on, anything that you want to discuss about?
Nothing real, no questions really, but I guess I did forget to add like this first half or like this first round, I guess. It was mainly just me just trying to more of like a poke priority until like it was safe for me to engage with anyone that was possibly low HP, but it was mainly just from like my ult charge. But at the same time, some risky plays were done like out of panic. So, but yeah,
Okay.
mainly the poking was just for like the ult charge, just so that way we can get Blade ASAP, so we can be able to help engage in getting some fights,
Okay.
increasing a possible chance of winning them.
Well, let me then also ask you a question here then in this case scenario then. wouldn't you be able to also say it's a very good way to get a lot of blade charge by having really high impact, valuable dives with your tank?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
what we're saying in this case scenario here is let's just say we're almost 3 minutes in. If we're gonna go off of time code here, maybe deduct 40 seconds for waiting for the gates to open. So we're close to 3 minutes in, and we're just now getting blade. So I understand you're trying to do this poke for thing, and it's okay to do in downtime where you can't really play super aggressive. It's okay to poke from an off angle, stuff like that. But at the same time, okay, we're poking from a distance. We can't be super aggressive. We're doing realistically the person you're gonna poke the most would probably be the tank, or maybe like go for some long range shots on soldier. But let's say that's getting us, you know, trying to think of like a good metric to go by. Very little art charge. Like we hit a few shurikens on Sigma. Realistically, it might give us like 5%. We hit a few thing over here on Soldier, maybe like a 5% or something like that. But if we get a good dive in where we do like, okay, we dash through two people, we hit a few right clicks, we hit deflects and do a big burst of damage and stuff like that. When we get a pick, we can stay in because it's me and Doom going together. And now you've gotten on top of that, because now with just poking, we're not getting picks, and we're maybe sitting, at 20% alt charge from just doing pokes. We set up, do a proper dive, get 3 picks, and now we're at 40 instead. So by
I see.
being aggressive and having good setups and hitting targets on good engages and good timing, I think warrants a lot more alt charge than just doing mindless poking.
Hmm.
Now I'm not saying to not poke at all. It's okay to do poking. It's why the game's so dynamic. There's so many different ways to play it. You just kind of got to think, what can I maximize my value for the resources available to me? Because obviously,
Hmm.
if I have no cooldowns, I'm not going to try and go run in on them. But if I have my cooldowns, then I can be more aggressive because I have the tools and the utility to be able to pull it off. But if I have nothing, then yeah, now we can go for some poke. Just do a little bit of something while we're waiting. Maybe take an angle and do some poking as well. Poking doesn't just have to be frontline sitting in front of the Sig shooting him. It could be we take an angle from the side and try and direct attention away and get maybe a little bit more value on top of also doing some of the poking, but also doing it in a safer manner.
Hmm. Makes more sense now, honestly. I guess it's just more of the fact that I'm trying to go with the supports that we have as well. Like we have an Ana Wu Yang, not really very dive comp with me and the Doom. So it was just more like with the intention of playing a bit more passively, because I don't need to really worry about like helping my Doom out survivability wise, because he can get at any time, but I only have like my dash for movement wise to be able to disengage. And if I don't have that, then deflect maybe might work. But then other than that, I might just be cooked if I don't have like a Curie or a Lucy or something. So that was like more my intention, just to play more passively. But at the same time, I see where you're coming from. I guess it was just me playing too passively than I should be.
Okay. Um, I understand the way of thinking, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think it's a very flawed way of thinking about this, because I will say, you kind of sort of contradict yourself in a way by what you're saying based off of Doom. He has the survivability. You don't have to help him, but that's the thing is that you don't have to help the Doom. The Doom's kind of helping you in a way. By the Doom being very aggressive and being able to take all that attention, if Doom has 3 people looking at him, let's say Doom dives in on this case scenario here. Well, let's just say you and Doom are set up for a dive. You're here. Maybe Doom comes from a slam over here. So Doom slams in and now has Bap, Mercy, Soldier, and maybe even the Echo looking at him. Okay, so he has 4 people looking at him, and you just said he has the tools and the survivability to be able to take something like that.
Hmm.
So if 4 people are looking at him, then who's going to look at you?
Hmm.
That's when Tank dives in, boom, does damage. So first off, that's a Q, gets some low HP, and takes all the attention away. That is your prime rib, perfect opportunity to come in and clean up and help Doom here.
Hmm.
And at the same time, if we want to counterpoint in terms of like not having support from the backline, Wu Yang has basically a Zen Orb. He can put on you, and you can go in and have heal there. Ana has range healing and will be able to heal you and even follow up and help with anti-nades if it's a good Ana player. I will add, if it's a good Ana player, she should be able to help you on dives. Surprisingly, if you actually think about it, Ana is used in dive compositions. Ana's used
Oh yeah.
in Winston dive composition. So saying that she doesn't necessarily help with the dive and you got to play more passive, I think it's just flawed. And
I guess it's just
especially,
like it's just because I guess my experience. This lobby was the Diamond 4 to Diamond 2, and most of the times it's like the honors play a little too passively sometimes. And I mean everyone has their own play style, right? So I just try to go with it. So that's just more what I'm used to. But then I know like higher comps when I play with like my masters friends and stuff. Like I noticed they're able to help engage with the dive comms, so
hmm
I feel a bit more confident then. But at the same time, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
yeah. And like I get
Hmm.
it's product of the environment as well. And it's like I can't say yes because the Ana should be able to do this. You should do this. Yeah, this is where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
But you're queued with the Doom. It doesn't. I would say it doesn't even matter if you have a backline that can support you. If you two are in sync and doing proper dives, there is nothing the other team is realistically gonna do to be able to do anything to you guys unless they use ults or unless they play perfectly and have all five turn around. And then in that case scenario, you're also doing your job even if you don't get picks. Let's say the T, you dive in, use your cooldowns, and are able to also live it. You force out Lamp. We maybe force Flash Heal. We use Rocket. We use Sticky Mines and Fly. We can maybe use Accretion, Sigma's Rock. We force out all of these cooldowns here and we're able to live. Then our Freya, our backline is able to basically have free map control and free pressure to help out as well. So it's like by clearing all of the pressure that would realistically stop them, by alleviating that, they're able to do more at the same time. So I think especially if you're playing with like a dive tank, try and play off him more. Even if yes, he can live, that's not necessarily the point of it. The point of it is that he is going in and you need to follow him because you two going together is so much better and more possible of getting picks than him just going in alone. Because then if he just goes in alone, then he's just kind of being a nuisance to the back line, but
Yeah.
doesn't really get too much out of it. Good use of deflect. Good use of dash. Great kill. Oh, great kill there. I like that kill. Little bit of a rush on the deflect there.
Hmm.
We really didn't need it because, again, when we looked at the time they were popping it, nobody was looking at you, so you didn't really need it. And I know you kind of noticed it because you put it away right away, but just kind of felt panicked. Yeah, that was okay. And maybe here's like a great example of it. Again, Doom might be feeding a little bit here. Not gonna lie, he is kind of feeding. But let's say we instead of just sitting here and poking, maybe we can push up because now they're really split. Soldiers alone right here. Cass is looking at Doomfist back. They're not looking at you. You walk up here and you can shoot him close range, get a nice little maybe right click dash, right click melee, and kill the soldier, and alleviate that little bit of pressure off of the Doomfist here by picking off, who he's distracting. But instead, we just kind of keep poking, and because of it, he gets kind of obliterated. And realistically, going in here is doesn't really even have like much of a risk because even if you die, they're not touching point. But maybe you do this here, you stagger out some kills, and then now, boom, you have like a great opportunity to kind of steamroll third point. especially if they play it poorly. But like now we try and go, and Doom's already dead, but now we try and push in, and then we kind of waste deflect again, and then we have to force dash out, and now we have like nothing to be aggressive with now. So now we can't punish that soldier or anything like that because now we just have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here and look at the defense a little bit and see how defense gets played. So far what I'm seeing for attack sided is things to work on is first off, try and be a little bit more mindful of your cooldown usages. Not like you have good deflects, but I feel like a lot of the issues that are coming with it is not necessarily flawed thinking of when to deflect or when to dash. It's more just panic and not thinking it through before doing it, in a way. And I feel like just we're doing a lot of rush deflects, and then obviously when we're deflecting, we're not disengaging from it at times. We're just kind of staying in and being full throttle when we don't really need to be. And then positioning wise for attack, and then it will probably go for the same on defense. It will slightly be a little bit different. Is we want to try and set up. We want to try and take angles from the side, take off angles and try and get into a position to where we can follow up on what the Doomfist dives on. We can follow up on what our tank engages on, or whoever we need to follow up on. We can do that and be ready for it in a way. And even if we don't have Doom, setting up is just good in general because it allows you to split attention and then at the same time wait for that cue or that trigger to say, okay, I can go in and try and get a pick or try and do something, try and bait a cooldown, try and bait whatever, or just try and just take attention and put a pressure in general. I can do that now because it's a good opportunity. And you'll have so much more impact and value than just kind of sitting on the front line in everyone's view and not taking an off angle and just doing poke.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be real. This first part here, there really isn't too much on you. Your Doom is just kind of smoking something. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I don't know. He was tweaking a little this fight, low-key, for this game.
Oh.
Discord.
Yeah, so quite a few things wrong with it. I'm gonna play it again, and I'm going to see. I spotted three things. If I'm thinking right, I spotted three things that were pretty big red flags, like very big red flags that we can talk about, and I want to see if you're able to notice them here. I'll slow down the 0.75 so you can get a little bit more of a more time to like think it through. There's also something you did really well, and I want to see if you can point it out as well.
Wasted deflect there.
Because we got wasted deflect. That is one of them.
And the dash was like there was three of them already on me, so dashing in would have just increased my chances of dying. Plus with the Discord.
So
the third thing. Oh, wait, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'll point out that in a second.
Okay, you said there was three things, right? So there was
three things. Yep.
Two. I don't know. Maybe the fact that Ana had both her cooldowns still.
No, the third I was thinking about was not that, and you could say that was a thing, but not necessarily. We'll go back and watch it. Watch it again. And there's also something you did well as well. I want you to notice if you can pick it out as well.
Um, I draw it away some attention. I think that was a good thing. I'm not too sure because
Yep.
our
No.
tank was still
You're
dead.
right. You're right.
Okay. And the wrong thing was just immediately trying to disengage, even the fact that I didn't have either of my cooldowns
No.
because I wasn't
Actually,
able to do it.
no. You disengaging was the best thing you could have done in that situation, but it's the best option, and I would say
Uh-huh.
it was good, but it was like, okay, you did something good, even though you're still gonna die for it, even though you did it right, you still die for it because you did 4 or 5 things leading up to it that were the major issues. And so yeah, I'll go through it here and point out. So put it back to regular speed. So Freya dies, your tank's dead but coming back. So this is immediately where the first thing you go right is because they're trying to push up and take this rotation. So now you're splitting their attention here again. They're not able to continue pushing up and like maybe they can't help this Reaper. So maybe you're curing Ana. Maybe Ana gets a good sleep, and then they can explode the Reaper because he won't have the support. Um, that was good. Taking this angle here is good because this is what an off angle is. Because if we go up and we look at it from here, we created off angle because, fights going on here, we're shooting from the side here. We're shooting from a completely different side of where they're trying to go. We're creating this angle, so to say. So this is what you did good here. However, the like this intention or like the idea of yes, we want to split their attention was good. Just everything on the execution was just really poor. So the first thing was, I know you had said about Ana, 2 CDs on Ana. We don't even see Ana here. So Ana's not even a thought in her head. I wasn't really thinking about the Ana at all. Because we don't know where she is at this current point in time.
I'm guessing, and
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, yeah, like the third thing was definitely that I engaged properly, but me trying to, in hopes of me trying to get a kill, was where I went wrong because there was like two of them on me already, and I feel
N-
like if I stay where I was at, then maybe I would have been fine.
yeah. Yeah. So you said you engaged properly. That's actually not the case. I don't think you engaged on it properly at all. That was where like the execution of it comes in. So the first glaring mistake is we are playing very in the open here. Again, I'm seeing a good thing of just we're not using cover. Again, we can get
Mhm.
the same amount of value by playing maybe on this wall here if we want to just do poke and take an angle and divert attention, or we kind of like go around here. We want to play this wall a bit, but we just kind of like we walk in the open, and then we just kind of walk in a straight line at them. We're just kind of walking in a straight line at them, which again now because we're doing that and we've got 2 people looking at us, now your brain goes, oh, I'm in danger. I need to use deflect. So at this point here, it would have been okay if we disengage, because now we're down deflect. But now what we're doing, this is the other big issue, is now we're down deflect, which is our main disengage tool. Now we dash in on 3 of them technically now, with nothing to save us.
Mhm.
So now we go in, and then so yeah, that was that. Wasting the deflect was the other one, and then the third one was going in without the deflect here. So then you recognize it, which is a good thing. We recognize that, okay, this was kind of chopped, and we disengage, and we do a somewhat okay disengage. But let's say maybe we have deflect here instead of just being in the open, and we can deflect and maybe go towards the stairs here and go up here. Maybe we can just deflect and walk back over here and take over here. It gives us so many more options here, but now we don't have deflect. We kind of have to just play on this wall here because we can't peek, and Zen comes around the corner, right clicks you, and you die. So I don't think playing like this off angle was bad at all. and I think it was pretty fine. But it was just like the entire execution of it and just kind of self-preservation aspect just kind of went out the window with it. Any thoughts or questions or comments about that this whole point here?
Nothing. Nothing so far, actually.
All right. Again, we're very in the open, and we're not positioning in a good spot. Okay, your Doom again is just chopped. No flame to him, but what the hell?
I only met the guy that same day too. You're good. He just.
Oh, okay then. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. All the flame. This guy, go back to bronze, brother. The streets of diamond ain't cut out for you. So yes.
7-1 2 somehow and fell back to Diamond 5. I'm like, how? Bro?
Oh, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So again, we're not taking any angle. This is actually a great area to look at it here, because now we can talk about elf angles a little bit more with a better example. So this is what I mean by angle or an off angle here. I'm gonna actually zoom out just a little bit more. So if we look at this from a top-down view, this is why I also love looking at it in a replay viewer. I'm not gonna lie. Once I kind of saw this and could look at games like this, for some reason, this like unlocked my ADHD in my brain, and I just hyper focused on like learning the game at this point, because I was like, okay, this is cool to look at it in this perspective. But if we look at in terms of the angles, let's see where everybody's shooting. So we got Doom shooting this way, your Kiri's shooting this way, your Freya's going to be shooting over the top because she's got vertical mobility, and then your Ana's also shooting this way. So if we look at it, we're all basically shooting in one big giant line here. So we're basically, all 5 of us are shooting into one spot, so one D.Va defense matrix eats all of it. You know, they hide at an angle, they eat all of it. But getting rid of all that, let's look at their angles. Well, yeah, okay, Ana's here, Cass is shooting from this angle here, Zen's really close, he's kind of trolling. You know, D.Va's shooting here, Zen's shooting here, and then we have Reaper shooting here. And can we already kind of see how we have one angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, and then technically 4 angles, all shooting into one big area? We want to be the people on the angles on the outside. We do not want to be the people in the circle, in the circle of death, in a way, or where all of those angles are converging. So by just playing in this open spot here, why does it keep going back to that? By playing in this open spot right here, we're not contributing any angles. We're not contributing anything from the spot right here. We do not, I think, want to be here. And especially because we have Genji's mobility in his kit, we're able to wall climb and double jump. We're able to take so many different spots. What I would rather you do is, especially with this Reaper on this off angle here, especially with him being here, I want you to go up and I want you to take this high ground. Genji is really good at map control and map pressure. Get this Reaper out, because now what you do is, if we look at all of these angles now if we go up here and we take out Reaper or just force him out, if we force him out, we deny this angle, and now we add our own angle by going up here instead. So now we've got angle, now we have 2 angles at least. And from this point of view, I mean, unless Ana goes like here and plays here or something, or like Freya shoots from over here, now this is the best we're going to get. But it's an improvement at the very least. It's an improvement from just sitting here and not trying to widen our angle of coverage or anything like that. And we just need to clear that Reaper out of here. He can't stay here. So yeah. And again, going off it, we're just playing in the open. We've got no hard cover, and again, we're kind of just walking in a straight line at him. And now we're in a bad spot. We have to force dash. And we kind of fuck up dash anyway, but we'd force dash out. Now you don't have the movement tool. You probably still would even have to force deflect out, most likely, with the Reaper on this height here. Because I'm probably going to assume Reaper probably turned his, yeah. So if you dash out Reaper and try to go up top here, Reaper would probably shoot you, you'd force deflect. And again, we're being very reactive. We're not trying to make anything happen. Had we been proactive, cleared Reaper, maybe, so then he's not getting shot in the back. Maybe Doom can live this. I doubt it, but that's your Doom's issue, not your issue. Your issue was we just kind of sat in the open here again, no cover. And we're not also creating an off angle. We're not splitting any possible attention. We're just, you know, doing that, and we're not being proactive in clearing and trying to make stuff happen. So I think we've got time to watch one more fight. Is there a specific fight anywhere throughout this is there one that you remember that you'd like to look at?
I'm trying to remember. There was like one like the very end, like the very last round. It was overtime. We were defending.
Defending overtime. Okay.
I went on Soj. Yeah, I had to go on Soj this time just to add more poke and stuff because Genji wasn't working with the comp that we were going against.
Okay.
So I don't know if you play much Soj though.
I do dabble.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do. I know I can understand every character and how they're supposed to be played in a very fundamental and probably up to like masters, I would say. I can play every character. I don't specialize in Soj, but I can most likely be able to help with. Yeah.
My game was low-key lagging there for a sec.
You're fine.
Yeah, it was. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Okay, yeah.
All right. So hear this fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We'll go from here. So this angle is fine. Good angle. Why are we dropping?
I saw that Echo was about to poke at me, so I decided to drop him.
Echo might poke at you.
Maybe
I'm gonna be honest. Echo's gonna poke you. One, you have a mercy pocket. Mercy's on you. Two, if I'm Echo and I ride it and try and kill while we're also down multiple people here. If I try and int in to kill a Sojourn with a mercy pocket from pretty far away, I have a brain tumor and I need to go get to the hospital as soon as I quickly can because I'm going to harm somebody by my just ineptitude of being able to think for myself. Echo has no pressure on you. Echo has no threat on you, I would say, in this case. And if she does try and kill you, you should be able to just explode her. She is frail. But instead, we get a little scared, and then we just completely deny that. We just completely give up that high ground, give up that angle, and I think that maybe opens it up to where they're able to push in now. Because now look at all that space they get. Like, here, we'll look at a top down of this real quick even. So, with you being alive here, their effective space of what they can take is pretty much here. This is as far as they're able to push comfortably right now. If they want to push up and if they want to take this space here, if they want to get to the statue, they're going to have to deal with you, they're going to have to deal with the queen. They're going to have to deal a lot, and they're going to have to force a lot of cooldowns out. And if anything, you're forcing them through this really small choke point here. That's great for you. You want that so much. Because you're denying them, what you're doing is you're denying them the ability of all the angles. Because if we look, what's their angle? Okay, their angle is in line with this here. These are the only angles they can take. But now we've got, for you guys, you have an angle here. You've got an angle here. We've got an angle here. We've got an angle coming from back here all the way in. We're shooting from two different ways into pretty much this one spot. But we get a little scared. We kill the Zen. We get a little scared. And we just give up all of this map space. We just give up so much for free. They didn't have to use a cooldown. They actually they got it for more than free. Like, you literally paid them They were down on people. They couldn't push that at all. And you literally just, now they're pushed up to here. Now they've got all of this. Probably they can go up here now and be perfectly fine. They can come over here. Now they just have so much more space. And especially, I think if you guys even fall back even more, now they have all this. And do you see how now that they have all this versus what we had before, which was just back here?
Yeah.
So I wonder, is that probably how they... That's probably how they get in. Yep. We just gave up so much map space. And now, like, literally, I'm just going to kind of reinforce it here. It's just like, we forced them here. If they wanted to even make it to the statue, they would have had to use Queen Shout. They probably would have had to use Echo Fly and Stickies. They might have even had to use Suzu. Sojin would probably have to use Slide, use her Eat, use everything just to get to the statue. But they make it even further past the statue, and now they have all of this for absolutely nothing. Just nothing at all. And then, here we go, and then now the angle's flipped. Now our angles are flipped. Let's see where they can shoot from. They're shooting from here. We're shooting from here. They're shooting here. And where are we shooting? We are all grouped up in one spot, so we're all shooting here. Here. Like, we have no space now. We have no space. We have no angle. We have nothing to shoot from. We're all shooting from the same angle. And now you can see how this fight gets really dicey. All off of just you sliding off that high ground. So while it may not have felt like you got really punished for it, you can see how it created a multitude of issues.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm Soj here, I slide up, take this high ground. This is a great, again, this is another angle to open up from, because again, we're all shooting from this one spot. Slide up here, we have high ground. It's a good spot. You have an opening on Kiriko. You have more options here, and you can kind of catch somebody off guard. But we're just again kind of idling in just a suboptimal spot. Huge queen ult, but we just kind of slide in. We kind of play it like Genji in a way. Maybe a little Genji brain, but maybe let's see, instead of you sliding in here, let's see if once this queen ult comes out, had we played from this angle right here, let's see what our view would have been like. Let's say we were playing here, okay? So we slide up, boom, queen slide, we goes up when we're right here. See how much more we can kind of see, and how much at the same time, think about how much more less pressure you'd have from the spot here, instead of like sliding in, being really aggressive, and now you're 1 HP dying to a queen ult. You would have been up here perfectly untouched, and it's literally Vaxta, it's Kovacs. You have nothing to worry about. Instead of just sliding in, now you're in the mix. Now you're shooting over here. Oh god, I gotta look over here. Oh god, I gotta look over here. And so you just sit here and just brrr, 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 and it's free.
For sure.
So yeah, we died to the ult, and I think probably your queen your queen and your Mercy probably clutched us out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or your Kiriko's there. My bad. So yeah, I'll be honest. Realistically, you probably should have lost that fight, unless Queen didn't have that huge ult.
I would definitely have that expectation that we most likely shouldn't have won this. After the third round, yeah, when we were supposed to attack.
Yeah, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
So the takeaways that I can give you from this is I'm going to give you 3 things to think about and to work on. And how I want you to go about them is, I do not want you to focus on all 3 at the same time. I want you to, in your head, focus on and trying to improve one of these things while playing at a time. So you can do it in whatever way you want to. You can do it one game at a time. So let's say this Blizz World game, for example, you load in the Blizzard world. I'm gonna focus on thing number one. Okay, I play the game out, and then okay, now I go to Elios. I'm gonna start thinking about thing number two, next map thing number three, or you can do it by day, by week, whatever metric of how you want to swap it up to keep it fresh and enjoyable for you, however you want to do it. But I don't need to go into and be like, okay, I need to think about one thing number one, but then I got to think about number two, thing number three. Your brain isn't designed to do that. Which, by the way, a quick side note, I'm also in school for psychology and also sports psychology. So I'm coming at this from like a scientific and psychological standpoint as well for this approach. Because your active thinking brain is literally not able to handle that much focus and things to go. But you can't multitask all those things. And then also understand that when you're focusing on one thing at a time, the rest of your stuff is going to fall to its autopilot setting, which is where this training comes in. If I'm constantly thinking about, for example, one of the things I was going to talk about is your positioning and use of hard cover. So when you go into a game and you just start focusing, okay, I'm going to keep reminding myself, play hard cover, don't go out in the open, don't do this, don't do that. That's what I'm thinking about. Everything else is going to go autopilot. So maybe you might waste some deflects. You might do some bad dashes. Maybe mechanics might not be the most impeccable they've been. You might do some dumb mistakes, other things. But you're training your brain and you're practicing that one thing. And so then when you swap your focus to another thing, you've basically built that autopilot like skill level. You've built it up. So then it's going to become completely without thinking. You're just going to start using hard cover more. You're going to start positioning yourself better. And you'll be able to focus and start focusing more on your awareness of the game itself and focus on what's actually going on versus like fundamentals and playing the game properly. So, yeah, like I said, first thing, I just see a lot of times you, especially like going into engages, we're just coming from a really bad spot and we're just kind of sitting open. Like, for example, here, we just kind of like walk at them in the open and then we dash in and we've already wasted deflect and everything like that. We don't want to do that. Try and play, cover if you can. Try and do stuff like that. Second thing, which will be position related, but it is different because I'm not talking about hard cover or playing in the open or stuff like that. It is, I want you to be more proactive with your positioning. I want you to do less mindless poking and more of trying to do setups, especially on like second point, for example, where you have so much map to work with and like it's a playground for Genji. Be creative, try different things, see what works. It's going to be a bit of a test. You might try a route and it doesn't work out, or you might try something and it does work out. So you keep trying it again, see what situations it works in, whatever. I want you to be more proactive with your positioning as well. I want you to be trying to get yourself in a spot to where you can make something happen instead of waiting for something to happen.
Okay.
And then third thing is on your engages and everything, focus on doing better deflects, or more importantly, disengaging with your deflects a little bit more, because I realistically did not see in the fights we looked at like any fights where you disengaged with deflect, really. A lot of it was to just keep playing aggressive and getting in there when you can't do it. So focus on, if you're going in and you're going to be aggressive, try it for 99% of the time. Obviously, there's going to be cases where you see a perfect opportunity to go in without deflect. You weigh that risk how you want to and try it. Do what you want with that. But in most case scenarios, go in and keep your deflect so you can disengage with it. That's how it wants to be used.
Okay.
And with that, that's kind of the big three takeaways that I think if you're able to do it and practice them, I think you'll see some great improvements, especially in just not dying a lot of the times, or not dying without feeling like you got your value.
Definitely, yeah. I think it was just me dying most of those times, just with providing no value for the team. So I definitely was like, yeah, I definitely need to get this shit water
Yeah,
refute.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I can see the vision myself clearly, but yeah, I appreciate it though, bro. For sure, I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely.